Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this week we'll talk about new iPhone 16 sizes that are expected. We're also expecting a ton of new AirPods updates, as well as iPads and more. This is your weekly news update for the week of January 1st, 2024. Now, Apple is always working on their next new store, and it seems this time around they're going to be bringing some new stores to Atlanta, Toronto, and Los Angeles. Recently, they just opened Apple Birkdale Village near me, and this is just a fairly simple store, but it was replacing the one that was in Northlake Mall, and now that's available. We're starting to see more and more stores either move or just new ones altogether, so we should see those fairly soon, hopefully in early 2024. Now, Apple Watch is now available again, so if you have an Apple Watch Series 9 or an Apple Watch Ultra 2 like this one, they're both available in the store and also online as well. That's at least until January 15th, where there's some decisions that need to be made whether or not it will be banned again. So we'll have to wait and see if that's what they do, but at this point, at least you can pick them up for now. Now, Japan is now trying to do the same thing the EU has done to force Apple to allow third-party apps and third-party app stores on the iPhone, according to Nikkei Asia. More details about the regulation are expected in the spring of 2024, and Japan would actually implement fines if it's not adhered to. So basically, it would allow third-party app stores and then maybe a different way to install third-party apps if you wanted to, just like you can on a Mac, typically such as apps like Coconut Battery that's not in the App Store on the Mac that I show on this channel a lot. You typically go to Safari, download the app, install it, and it should work the same way as long as Apple can keep it sandboxed to prevent issues with it. I don't see there's much an issue with that, but it is something that would be a little bit different, and you will have to be more cautious than normal. While Apple is hard at work at their own version of AI, waiting to incorporate it into Siri, maybe with iOS 18 or something else, Microsoft just released their own standalone app for Microsoft Copilot. This is the same AI that's implemented or integrated into Windows, and it says your everyday AI companion. It's a standalone app, and you can simply open it up. You don't have to sign up for anything, and you can use GPT-4 as well. So it says write a poem with vivid imagery that doesn't rhyme. Where do people travel for culinary experiences? You can see many more things in here, and basically do the same thing you would using ChatGPT as well. So that's something that's available now. If you want to try it out, you don't have to sign in to try it out, but it is available at least to sign in if you already have an account with that. Greg Joswiak, who's in charge of worldwide marketing at Apple, recently did an interview with a Thai site called iMod. On their YouTube channel, there's a full interview that's about 25 minutes long and goes over things such as filming an Apple keynote with an iPhone, with the iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, also Steve Jobs era keynotes, different things about maybe appealing to the Thai market, and much more. There's some great questions there, and it's definitely worth a watch. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. Now, before we talk about upcoming releases with iPhone 16 and more, I wanted to mention a couple deals. These are sold directly by Apple on Amazon. MacBook Air has some deals right now going on where they're a couple $100 off. Beats Studio Pro have a big discount down to $179, and Beats Studio Buds are down to $99. Also, iPad 9th and 10th Gen are discounted as well. I'll link those all in the description if you want to check them out yourself. Now, the next versions of iOS are expected pretty soon. iOS 17.3 Beta 2 is expected next week at some point. Now, Apple could change this up, as we've seen that earlier in December with iOS 17.1.2, but typically the second week of December we'll have the next betas, and then we'll have following betas the week after that, with a final release probably toward the end of January or early February, probably to coincide with the release of the Apple Vision Pro. We also could see an iOS 17.2.2 if there's some sort of emergency release needed. I wouldn't expect that, but it's possible we could see it this week if it's needed, along with maybe an Apple Watch update, watchOS 10.2.1 or something else along those lines. So we're waiting for all of those releases, and then of course we'll move on to iOS 17.4 once that's released, and then iOS 18 will be shown for the first time in June, usually within the first or second week of June. We'll see that at WWDC. So we're looking forward to all of those things. The next major update, iOS 18, is expected to have some sort of redesign or major updates compared to what we've had before. So I'm looking most forward to that, but we should see some small features until then. Now, as far as iPhone 16, we're expecting some updates this time around. We've heard quite a few things with maybe a new button that we'll have, where we'll have sort of a capture button. We've heard about things such as updated cameras. They'll keep the titanium frame. However, it seems now the display sizes will in fact be changed. changing according to Mac rumors and multiple sources. iPhone 16 Pro is set to be slightly taller and wider, from a 6.1-inch display to a 6.3, and with the Pro Max they're also expecting to be taller and wider, but also have a 6.9-inch display up from 6.7. I don't know that I need much of a larger phone than this, but hopefully they can maybe fit it within a fairly small area, maybe shrink the bezels even more, but it looks like it will get a little bit larger this time around. I'm not sure if that's to incorporate a larger battery, new chipsets, or something else, hopefully some better cooling and larger batteries, but again, we'll have to wait and see, and that will be in September, but Apple gets things ready around this time of the year. Now, we are expecting new AirPods this year. AirPods Pro 3 maybe, AirPods 4, as well as AirPods Max 2. AirPods Max are long waiting for an update. We haven't seen that in a while. They're great headphones, but we haven't seen anything updated. We have this goofy case. We also have, they're pretty heavy, and the headband doesn't seem to hold up very well also. It loses its elasticity. So we should see some improvements there, hopefully some improvements that bring it up to the level of AirPods Pro 2, as it seems to be left behind a little bit with that. So AirPods 4 could offer a different design, maybe having a shorter stem, a similar design between AirPods 3 and AirPods Pro 2. That's what's sort of rumored at this point, but it seems like we should get some new AirPods this year along all of the line. AirPods Pro 3, it's hard to say as we don't really know, but if we do see that, I would expect AirPods Pro 3 toward the end of the year, if at all. But I would expect updates to the others, definitely. Now, also HomePod is due for some sort of refresh. This time around, it looks like what we've heard before seems to be true. Mark Gurman in the past suggested Apple is working on a prototype HomePod with a display on it. This time around, leaker Kosutami on X is confirming Apple's work on HomePod and says it has a curved LCD display. So this gives you an idea, or maybe it's an OLED display, but it's a prototype that looks like Apple was working on it. We've heard before that it could have a screen off of it to offer FaceTime calls and other things, but we haven't seen that just yet. Now, we do expect a bunch of new iPads this year. Mark Gurman confirmed this before, but it looks like Apple is going to release a whole new lineup of iPads. Maybe a whole new design with OLED displays instead of mini LED or micro LED, and maybe some rigidity fixes. Hopefully something along the line of titanium. Maybe we could have something that's a little bit more rigid, as you can easily flex this iPad Pro. It's a little scary that way, and maybe we'll offer even different changes we're not expecting. We also are expecting an updated Magic Keyboard. So we've had the same Magic Keyboard for a while. It's very expensive, and I would love to still be able to use it, but it looks like Apple's going to update this with something new altogether. So we're waiting for that, an updated iPad Air, and iPad regular version. So all of those are expected to get some sort of major update this year. What exactly other than the display is going to be new, we don't know, but hopefully iPadOS 18 offers something different as well, maybe brings more functionality to it. Now, as far as Apple Vision Pro, well, we're just about a month away from seeing that released to the public. Apple Vision Pro is expected at the end of January or early February, according to Mark Gurman, and a new patent shows that Apple has some accessories planned for Apple Vision Pro. The patent filed in Hong Kong, originally found by Patently Apple, shows that it has covers for the Apple Vision Pro front glass and display. Hopefully Apple will actually incorporate this into the box to help protect the display and glass when not in use, as that's one of my major concerns, is cracking that display just like you could crack your iPhone or the display glass or the glass over the cameras. So hopefully they have some sort of protection with that. Apple is also hard at work at the next iteration of Apple Vision Pro and is said to have even better micro OLED displays. This should be brighter and help with battery life overall, since they should be more efficient according to the elec. So that seems to be what we're going to get here fairly soon, hopefully within a month or so. And if I can get my hands on one, I'll definitely do that at the end of January or early February. Now, I did want to mention a couple things we're not expecting until maybe 2025. And the first thing is iPhone SE 4. The iPhone SE 4th generation is said to be the first device to incorporate Apple's own 5G modem, but it looks like we probably won't see that until 2025. It's said to look very similar to the iPhone 14, but only have one camera, where it would be squared off, offer a 6.1-inch display, it would be getting rid of Touch ID, and just opt for Face ID. So we won't see that, it seems, probably this year, although Apple could surprise us as they have in the past. Also, we're not expecting a 27-inch iMac or iMac Pro, which is a bit disappointing, as I was hoping for something like that, but maybe we could see a new Pro Display XDR or something we're not expecting altogether. Hopefully we'll have a very exciting year, but I'm looking most forward to iOS 18. Let me know if you're interested in Apple Vision Pro or in what you're looking most forward to in 2024. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, I'll link it in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.